Did I tell you Rashid fell asleep listening to this?
He fell asleep?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
He's like, I was trying to listen to your podcast the other day, but I fell asleep. And I was like, oh, that's...
It's our buttery voices.
Yeah.
Landed on thick.
If nothing else, we're good to put on to fall asleep to.
It's warm in that office.
Yeah.
There's a lot of computers.
Well, I think he was at home when he did it.
There you go. Even better. I'm glad that our...
Nice little nap time.
Our velvet...
All we need to do is
just finish that thought,
we basically
John?
just have to read like a Tolkien, like the beginning of like his description of the Shire or something, and people just like,
oh man,
just zonk out the firm rolling hills.
The extended editions of the Lord of the Rings, those bonus feature discs. I would put those on to go to bed.
You would,
and it would be like, I don't know, the first 5 minutes of part 1, then I'm out.
Exactly. Especially if it's just like that soft monotone voice just going right.
Talking about Tolkien and like how he came up with the Lord of the Rings books. Great way to fall asleep. None better.
Well, apparently this podcast may be right up there.
There you go.
Official podcast of putting Rashid to sleep. It's a big month. Logan, Mass Effect, Ghost in the Shell, Beauty and the Beast. All of that.
I don't know what Ghost in the Shell is.
It's that anime that they're making into a live action film.
The Scarlet.
Never heard about it.
Should we start with
more Hollywood whitewash?
Yeah, but I
guess the Major always was sort of an Anglo-Saxon type character as opposed to the more traditional Japanese look.
That's the problem with like Cowboy Bebop. Spike has always been a white guy to me.
Animes in general, they usually go for a more American or a more English looking person.
Yeah. White guy.
White guy. Just like I'm assuming how we draw cartoons, they're always Asian people. Take that one.
Donald Duck inspired anime.
Did he?
Yeah, his eyes and stuff.
Huh.
Anyways, we're going to start with some really shitty news. Bill Paxton passed away today due to complications in surgery. We don't know what he was getting worked on. But Bill Paxton is one of those, I mean, you wouldn't call him an A-list star, but definitely like a solid B-list movie actor that made a ton of roles like memorable. Yeah. His performance in Aliens. He was a lead actor in Twister with Helen Hunt, which inspired many people in the Midwest to go chase tornadoes like idiots.
And as you just showed, there was the storm chasers who threw out a big BP, and I'm assuming that was where they tagged their readings or something and spilled out a big BP across the county.
Yeah, in Kansas,
Oklahoma.
Was it Oklahoma? I saw Kansas.
I think it's part of Kansas and part of Oklahoma.
So anyways, he inspired many people to become storm chasers. Philip Seymour Hoffman's in that movie too. Another guy we lost last year. Yeah. So real shitty. He was in Training Day, which was they just finished their first season of that. They turned
the show. Yeah, I was thinking the movie. Show. I was like, I do not remember him in the movie.
Yeah. Yeah, so I believe he played Alonzo's character.
Oh, really?
Denzel Washington's, yeah.
Oh, well, that was kind of like one of the main characters.
Yeah.
Like, shit.
Real crappy. Real crappy. So, our thoughts and feelings are with the Pullman family tonight. The Paxton family tonight. Dude.
Even in death.
Even in death.
We're getting them mixed up.
You two will still be confused.
Who is Pullman?
The president from Independence Day, the dad from Casper.
Oh, yeah.
Paxton and Pullman get mixed up all the time.
Yeah.
He was on, I listened to ESPN in the mornings, which is odd.
What?
Yeah. So I listened to Mike the Dan Lebitard show.
Oh, okay.
Because they don't really talk sports. And he was on last week talking about Training Day.
Wow.
Must have been like Wednesday or Thursday. Just so odd that, out of nowhere, could be dead. Terrible. Should we start with Nerd Out, since we're going to be back loading this episode with a lot of X-Men Wolverine talk?
Sure.
I'm going to start because I'm going to have the easiest one. I moved into a house this week, so I lost my internet.
Sweet.
And so I didn't really get to do anything this week other than pack and move. So sorry, I got a
third episode in a row where he didn't have an answer.
Nerding out of a box.
Hey, last episode I had X-Men.
Oh yeah, you did watch X-Men.
I was not able to watch the X-Men movies we're going to talk about today, so you're not going to get my expert opinion on those like we did last time.
We'll fill you in as best we can. What were you nerding out on? Legion?
Oh, yes.
You want to talk about Legion? Or?
Well, I mean, eventually at some point in time. I mean, it's only 3 episodes in, but so far it's got, I like the cut of its jib.
What were you nerding out on then?
No, that was it.
Legion?
Yeah. Well, that, and then there's Taboo and Six, like some good shows. It's funny, between FX and the History Channel, like really good shows in there.
Yeah. It's weird that History Channel, I mean, I know it's been a couple years, but they stopped doing like all non-fictional television.
Yeah.
Kind of like TLC, and now TLC has their own
made-up shows.
Fictional shows.
I think that's why they did H2. They're like, all right, we're going to offshoot all the actual history crap onto the one nobody watches.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You remember how, it was probably early 2010s where every network had a towing show?
Yeah.
Towing show. I remember that.
Ugh. Towing shows. No, thank you. Or
like repo shows.
Yeah, repo shows, or a storage hunter.
Yes, that's right. The auction type crap.
Auction show.
Yep. Or like the pawn stuff.
Shows.
Yeah, get that out of here.
It's like more pseudo reality TV.
Yeah. Where most of that stuff's scripted.
Exactly.
Ugh.
It's like it's anything but reality.
Yuck. So I started up Witcher 3 again. They patched it a bunch since I got it back when I got my PS4. And I only made it through... I was probably only like 20 hours into the game, which that sounds like a big chunk of time. But the base game can take you over like 250 hours.
Damn.
Depending on how long you take to do stuff. So I really was not far in. And it's one of those things where like you load up a save from an RPG after months of not playing it. And you're like,
I don't remember any of this.
I don't remember I don't even remember who I am. So I restarted Witcher 3. And since they patched it, they did a lot of quality of life, like updates and like stuff with the UI. It's going much easier than I found it last time. Yeah, we try not to push on the table.
Yeah, that's what I just...
We got a new table set up and it's squeaking. So if you hear squeaks in the episode, just too bad. I guess.
Just ignore them.
We are not farting.
It's not.
Well, it's not always farting.
It's not you, it's us, I guess. So yeah, that's what I was doing for
or it's John scratching his shirt for the 4th time.
I got it.
It looks like you're like not scratching. You're just like, getting a good rub on.
I like my pectorals. Should we run down X-Men 3 quick for Jordan?
Sure.
Is that where we should start?
Where it all went downhill.
I did not review that one much because I didn't think we were going to talk about it.
Yeah,
that wasn't in the case notes.
It's not.
Yeah.
It's not.
If you go for it based off of your memory, I don't remember.
Okay, so from what I remember, Brett Ratner took over for Bryan Singer, who directed the first 2, and turned a relatively deep dialogue on human rights in the first 2 X-Men movies, being an allegory for, race relations in the world today, and throwing most of that out in X-Men 3 to make just a generic action movie where they kill off a bunch of characters, leave a bunch of characters out, and give life to one of the first memes, I'm the Juggernaut bitch, to Vinnie Jones as the Juggernaut. And that's about it. They kill off Cyclops, Professor X, Mystique loses her powers, Rogue decides to get the mutant cure because they develop a cure for the mutant.
So why? So she can make out with Iceman?
Yeah, but Iceman goes for... she's
like
talking
about her getting a cure.
Arguably I mean, there's like 3 sexy ladies on the X-Men animated series.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
The cartoon. Yeah.
Psylocke, Jean Grey, and Rogue. Right?
Storm always had too much clothing. Like, you didn't, like,
Well,
she was like the big drapey.
She was just so intimidating. She always seemed like she was wearing high heels and
Scared of
she'd
a powerful woman.
yell weather at you. Mighty wind.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. So anyways.
But Halle Berry's not as intimidating.
No, it's just Anna Paquin as Rogue. She's not this sexy, like, woman in her 30s from the South with, you know, like a sweet, charming accent.
Oh.
So her being slutty just doesn't work. Now, Rogue from the animated series, she was always all over Gambit and stuff.
Oh, yeah?
Or Gambit was always trying to get all over her.
That's right. Yep.
Yeah.
I thought Wolverine did too, but I could be mistaken.
He does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought there was sort of a weird dynamic to that.
Because their relationship would be the only one that would work.
For Rogue?
Yeah, because Wolverine can regenerate his energy faster, and Rogue could actually touch him. But they made it a weird father-daughter thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, so...
That wouldn't have worked.
No, so Wolverine in X-Men 3, he's like, hey, listen, I'm not your dad. I'm your friend. If you want to get the cure, get the cure. I'm not going to stop you. But don't do it for a guy. Do it for yourself. And so she goes down there and she gets the cure. And that's probably that's like the last deep moment in that movie. There's the death of Professor X that Magneto takes really hard. Aside from that, it's just like even a kid's cartoon series from the early 90s does better justice to this storyline than Brett Ratner did. So.
It was as if he had too many good options and then just pissed him down his leg.
Yeah.
It's like, I've got these 6 really good, delicious gourmet beers. I'm going to drink them all at once and see what happens.
And it's weird because like they run from set piece to set piece in that movie. I don't know. The action's well done. But again, it feels like generic where like the first 2 movies seem to stand alone more. If you watch this, you would forget it, you know, in a week. That's all I have on X-Men The Last Stand. But yeah,
because it basically doesn't exist anyways from what I know about.
Yes, we will get to that.
Up.
Yeah.
So let's move on to what matters.
Yeah, we'll crank it over to
X-Men Origins.
X-Men Origins. Wolverine.
Is it just X-Men Origins Wolverine or is it X-Men?
The Wolverine.
Okay.
So let me take you back to a time, 2009, a year after Iron Man came to theaters. And the place we're going to be is 1970s Canada. And it seems like every single scene that wasn't inside was on a green screen.
Yeah.
It's really bad.
Yeah.
Really
well,
bad.
I mean, not as bad as his claws, but yeah.
Yeah,
bad.
his claws are... Jesus.
This is ugly.
It looks like someone like quickly did that in like Illustrator or something.
Microsoft Art.
Oh, geez. They're terrible. And even his reaction to them is like really bad. Basically, it's the origin of Wolverine way back when apparently him and Sabretooth are brothers. And Sabretooth isn't the guy from X-Men 1, but Liev Schreiber from like Manchurian Candidate reboot and stuff. Some of All Fears with Ben Affleck. He's also in that.
Oh, I never did see that one.
He plays a pretty cool like assassin for the CIA.
Oh, nice.
In that, but he doesn't have really long, girly fingernails like he does in this. And just like everything about it, Deadpool's in it, but they really botched Deadpool. Gambit's in it, but he's only in it for like 6 minutes, and it's Taylor Higgins from Friday Night Lights that plays him. I don't know if you ever saw Friday Night Lights.
Never seen it.
It's a good show, which is hard for me to say because it's like...
Was that the show or the movie?
The show.
Okay.
With Kyle Chandler and...
the guy who played Superman on the USA series or whatever it was.
Dean Cain?
Dean Cain.
Was it the Lois and Clark one?
Is he in a later season?
He's in the TV show.
Later season?
I don't think so. I've never seen the show, but I know isn't he the coach?
No, that's Kyle Chandler.
Do they look the same?
Not really at all. Listeners, you can pull up on your phone Dean Cain.
You can prove me wrong as usual.
And I mean, that's close. Yeah. I mean, that's what Dean Cain looks like.
Dean Cain is not in Friday Night Lights?
No.
Show me the guy that's actually in Friday Night Lights.
Here's Kyle Chandler. We just watched a movie with Kyle Chandler last night. Manchester by the Sea. Really depressing movie, but pretty good. I mean, yeah, I could see how you got the two confused.
They look exactly alike.
That's Kyle Chandler?
That is Dean Cain.
That's not Dean Cain.
Just
but
take away the beard.
I understand how you could be confused. He looks like Nolan North, actually.
Type in Kyle Chandler, Dean Cain side by side.
Oh my gosh.
And tell me it's not the same person.
Yeah, they don't have any side-by-side photos of the two. That's Dean Cain. He's like Hispanic.
That's Kyle Chandler.
No.
They are the same person.
There he is again. See that?
Which one was that?
That's David Duchovny.
Okay, I was like, that didn't look like either one of those.
I hope you weren't, yeah. Even I knew that wasn't.
I almost had you guys.
Anyways, we got horribly sidetracked.
Anyways, let's click on my phone.
They're no Bill Paxton, that's for sure.
Yeah, or Bill Pullman. So, it's bad. It's easily the worst Wolverine movie that he's in. Really confusing. He has like maybe ironic, not ironic, slow motion walk away from a helicopter explosion.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
They do this ridiculous zoom in from Agent Zero's sniper shot where he takes out the grandpa that gives Wolverine the motorcycle jacket.
Because out of all the mysteries of Logan's past, we all wanted to know where that jacket came from.
And it belonged to the guy's son, who's going to be as jacked as Wolverine was. Like, what? Who's your kid?
The kid was swimming in this jacket. That's why he never wore it.
His kid was the Juggernaut.
Could have been. But yeah, we get this weird montage at the beginning where Wolverine and Sabretooth decided to fight in every single war.
Yeah.
From the Civil War on.
Because they don't age.
Yeah.
Right.
But do you have nothing better to do? Like, are you going to sit out Vietnam or what's going on?
Like, they quickly glaze through those things when they could have taken some good time to, like, do some character development between those two within those moments, to really shore up that bond.
Do you know Liev Schreiber's Sabretooth? Like when the movie starts?
Yeah, because they're little kids.
Or does it go straight into the montage?
No, it's like they start in, 1850s or something
yeah, 1850s
like that?
Or 60s.
And they live next to each other, which is to say, like, within miles of each other, because back in the day, everybody was real far apart. But
And, like,
I think they had the same dad.
Logan is sick.
Yes, he's like a sickly kid.
James is his name.
That's right.
James Howlett.
Yep.
He's like sick because the mutant gene hasn't expressed itself yet because he hasn't hit puberty. Victor's watching over him on his bed because, it's like getting a cold back then was 60% chance you were going to die.
Yeah.
So,
it's that type of bed stuff. James's dad, Logan's dad comes in and he's, talking to him, and then Victor's dad shows up all drunk, and he ends up killing James's dad, Logan's dad. We don't really know why.
So which one was really their dad, though? Was it
Victor's dad?
Oh, okay.
He says, he wasn't your father, I'm your father. And then Wolverine has the claws come out for the first time, and he stabs him.
Oh, yes.
And he kills him.
Yep.
And we get the first.
So Wolverine had claws as a kid?
Yeah, they're like bone. So it looks basically just looks like a bunch of
twigs. But when did he get put in the adamantium?
In the 70s.
Yeah, like he does his military career and like does like some, I guess, black ops shit with.
So how did he not age?
So
from the 1850s to the 1970s?
He did.
He got to like 25 and then stopped aging pretty much and like slowly ages throughout the
basically
decades.
When that moment happened, we learned in the first X-Men movie that the mutant gene expresses itself under like severe stress through puberty. My guess is in that moment, the mutant gene for slowing down his aging expressed itself. That's why he was like feeling better when he went and he stabbed his dad. And then from there, he starts slowing down his aging process.
Okay.
So did Victor, because Victor also has advanced healing.
Okay.
Like Wolverine does. So they age. They stay together because they're brothers, I guess.
Well, I don't think they really know about a whole lot of other mutants, so they think they're very unique in the world. And I mean, when you live, outlive everybody else around you by, 10 to 1.
Decades.
Obviously, you're pretty much, you want to stick to with somebody so that you're not all alone.
So in the war montage of them going through D-Day, World War I,
Vietnam,
Civil War, Vietnam. It's either Korea or Vietnam. Yeah, it's over there.
I think it might have been Korea. Yeah.
Victor grabs a Asian woman and he's gonna have his way with her, and Logan stops him. And then troops show up to arrest Victor for his war crimes. And Victor starts killing him. So the soldiers are going to kill Victor, and Logan stops them. So they get put to death by firing squad.
Well, that's not going to do anything.
Yeah, so they kill him. 10 hours later, they wake up, obviously, and they throw him in jail. Stryker shows up. And he's like, hey, boys, I heard you guys didn't die after you were killed by firing squad. Why don't you come with me and you can join this team where you guys can really do some good. So that's how they join the team.
Wait, Stryker, who
Stryker
the congressman? No, who's Stryker?
He's the guy that convinces the president.
Oh yeah, okay.
So he was a colonel back in the Vietnam era.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yep.
Which we see again in Days of Future Past.
Yeah, but I think he's much younger. First class, isn't he? I think he has a small bit in first class.
He might. But we're not going to remember that one.
Yeah.
The team ends up doing more dark crap that Logan's not cool with, because it's the touchy-feely Wolverine movie where he's not cool with being a bad guy, I guess.
He basically still has his humanity for the most part at this time. So he's still got all of his memories from when he was a kid. So this is before the wipe, where he basically after that he's like, well, fuck it, sort of thing. So he decides to leave this team that has Deadpool on it, a guy that will later become Blob, Wraith, Agent Zero, Bolt. Yes, that's what his name was.
Played by Dom Monaghan from Lost and Lord of the Rings. He leaves the team. Victor starts killing off the old team members because he wants the team back. And so Stryker comes to recruit Logan to get adamantium grafted to his skeleton so he can stop Victor. Victor ends up killing Logan's girlfriend. And
son of a gun.
Yeah. So, but basically what Logan figures out is Stryker ordered Victor to start hunting down mutants because they're working on this project to make the strongest mutant ever, which is Deadpool. So they use Deadpool's body.
Really?
And they use powers derived from other mutants like Bolt, played by Dom Monaghan, Wraith, played by Will.i.am. They want Wolverine's healing factor, so he'll heal. Cyclops, as a teenager, he makes an appearance in the movie, and they want him for laser eyes.
Well, does he have anything else?
No.
He's a one-trick pony.
He is. And they end up they sew Deadpool's mouth shut, and Ryan Reynolds actually doesn't play that character.
After the transformation.
When they transform.
I figured as much. I mean, it didn't really look like him too much.
So Ryan Reynolds actually stepped out of the role for the stunt work in the end when instead of wearing the Deadpool costume, he's this topless white guy with Baraka.
Yes,
arm
Baraka.
blades
That's what
from Mortal Kombat.
Yep.
Laser eyes, teleporting powers, and weird line tattoos on his body.
And the only thing that everybody wants from Deadpool is a snarky remark, and none of it.
None of it.
But they do mention that because when they're taking Deadpool and starting to experiment with him, I think Stryker says something about getting rid of his mouth or something. Yeah, so it was like, all right. But that was Deadpool's gimmick,
And so then,
I still have yet to see that movie.
Deadpool?
Yeah.
Oh, that one's really good.
That one's on the list. So another weird thing is they save all the mutants that they were like draining power from to power up Weapon 11 instead of Weapon X, which is what Wolverine was.
Okay.
Weapon XI. They rescue the kids and they bring them out to. It was a very X-Men 2 ending where they're running to a chopper.
Okay.
But again, the green screen's so bad, it just looks like they're running in place. It's terrible. And we have a plasticky rubber, younger Patrick Stewart show up to tie in the continuity that Logan saved the first X-Men for the X-Mansion for X-Men's, for Xavier's School for Gifted Youngsters.
Is that brought up in the original movies that he saved it?
No. Just real.
You think that would have been brought up at some point?
Just really
was
weird.
That big of a deal.
They just wanted to shoehorn continuity in somehow. And then Logan gets shot in the head at the end, which erases his memories.
With an adamantium bullet.
Because apparently that's the only way to stop him. But it's not, because it doesn't matter if it's adamantium that you cut the guy up with. He's just going to regenerate anyways. So that's basically all of X-Men Origins Wolverine. Really bad.
Yeah, it was a money maker. You can tell. Like they were like, all right, we can make some money off of
2009
this.
too.
Yeah.
Crazy. Shall we quickly go over the Wolverine, Kyle?
We shall indeed. I actually wrote up a little thing for it.
Nice. Probably
came prepared.
The best Wolverine.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, this one I thoroughly enjoyed. I did not rewatch it for this review, but I did my homework a little bit.
Sweet.
Are the only two Wolverines we have to go off of the one we just talked about and this one?
Plus X-Men 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah, like standalone
counting
Wolverines.
those when you say the best Wolverine.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to say, if it's only between the two, it couldn't have been hard to be black.
Yeah. All right. Something that wasn't good for the movie is it was leaked online before the special effects were added.
Yeah.
Or like early.
The Origins one?
No, Wolverine was.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, geez.
Because a lot of people watched it online. So it really hurt its tickle sales. Hurt its tickle sales.
Tickle the ticket sales.
It hurt ticket sales, but it's actually a much better movie than Origins was. And if people had leaked, I mean, I know both of them ended up being leaked, I believe. But it's too bad because it's actually not that bad of a movie. Came out 2012?
Yeah,
Let's go with that.
Yep, I think so. Maybe it was in 13, I can't recall.
All right, Kyle, what do we got?
All right, so this one opens in 1945 in Nagasaki. And for anybody that knows a little bit about history, it's not going to be a good day. So we find that Logan's actually a POW, and they have him stuffed down this giant well, pretty much, just kind of hanging loose in a cell. So the bombs fall, and a Japanese officer by the name of Yoshida ends up kind of clambering down there. I think he's looking for basically the last place to hide, because he just saw the mushroom cloud coming. So Wolverine ends up saving him, like covering up and like taking the brunt of the force. And they're still down in this big well. So that's basically the only thing that kept them alive.
Okay.
So flashes to, and it is important to remember that this one actually precedes The Last Stand, The Last Stand storyline. So Wolverine is kind of torn up about killing Jean Grey, and it would what?
It would succeed.
Succeed. Sorry. The Last Stand proceeded this one. So in this terms of the story, thank you. Thank you for making me look stupid.
No, it's all right.
Oh, don't worry. I'm doing that myself, though. Okay, so...
he's torn up about killing Jean Grey.
Yeah, he's off in the Yukon, kind of living like a hermit. Through a series of events, he ends up on a plane to Japan to talk with Yoshida.
He's an old, crippled man right now.
Yes, and he's dying of cancer, we come to find out. So on this plane ride, there's the nice little homage to the old yellow Wolverine outfit. But that's all you ever see of that. So...
one thing with X-Men Origins Wolverine, $155 million budget. And that's what they came up with for graphics.
I can't tell. Is that a lot now?
Wolverine had a budget of $200 million, so only $50 million more.
According to Wikipedia, it had a budget of $120 million.
The Wolverine?
The Wolverine.
Wow. If it did more with less, that's impressive, especially years after.
Wikipedia had $200 million.
I'm on Wikipedia.
I'm on Wikipedia as well. Oh, Days of Future Past. Sorry. I was on Days of Future Past.
Had the 200?
$200 million.
Oh, okay. So obviously already this is a superior Wolverine movie with less budget.
Yes.
So Yoshida wants to basically pay back Wolverine by taking his power to heal himself of the cancer that he has.
So he wants to steal Wolverine's healing factor.
Can you do that?
He found... Life will find a way. Jeff Goldblum.
You need to bust out a Bill Paxton quote, though.
Yeah, that's true.
Game over, man. So, it seems to be something that Logan actually wants because he's starting to see his gift as a curse. Yeah. Because he basically outlives everybody and he's just kind of...
The old guy also kind of assumes he must be depressed. He's lived long enough.
Yeah, exactly.
You don't want to live anymore. Let me help you commit suicide.
Especially if you're living all by yourself out in the woods, trying to isolate yourself from society. He offers that to Wolverine to take his powers and cure him. And Wolverine thinks about it and says no. But this Yoshida guy is, basically a
terrible person.
Yeah, he's like an autocrat. He's rich and powerful and figures he can do whatever the fuck he wants.
Yeah.
So he sends out this doctor who is basically called Viper. And she drugs him.
Poisons him.
That's right. And
he starts to lose his healing factor, right?
Well, so he thinks it's a dream, apparently, from what I can recall.
Yeah.
And he basically shakes it off. And the next morning, come to find out this Yoshida guy is dead. And so a couple of good action scenes, a love subplot, basically an open heart surgery by Wolverine on himself. And he dies, only for a little bit, but he comes back. So yes, one of the coolest scenes I remember is Wolverine going through this Japanese village looking for Yoshida's granddaughter. Yeah. So
it's a very.
I thought I had this in here.
It's very much like a samurai movie.
I'd say that's the vibe I'm getting here.
So Yoshida has a son, and his son has a daughter, and they all play into this kind of hierarchy into the corporation that this Yoshida guy built.
Almost like a crime syndicate.
Yes, like a triad. Yeah, not unlike that. And so people get pissed off when this Yoshida guy left everything to his granddaughter as opposed to his son. So his son basically kidnaps his own daughter to try to get control of the corporation. And I could be wrong about that. This is just from what I put together.
That's what Kyle remembers.
This is what I remember. We sound like nerds changing what actually happens. Alternative movie reviews. This seemed like such a good idea when I did this, but
yeah, you need to get like a current phone, like a note app.
Hey man, ammo's not cheap.
That's true.
I gotta skimp somewhere.
You love your ammo.
I do. All right. So, anyways, Logan ends up having to fight this giant metal samurai. It's the Silver Samurai.
Kind of. Silver Samurai. Silver Samurai. That's like a Hulk-sized Silver Samurai.
Isn't that what they call it, though? The Silver Samurai?
Yeah, but he's also a cartoon character or a comic book character who's...
Oh, he's his own thing?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Is
that a Marvel property?
Yeah.
Oh.
He's about the size of any normal human. Yeah, he's basically a silver shredder with a sword.
Yeah. So he has a energized adamantium samurai sword that he ends up cutting off Logan's claws with. And I come to find out it's this Yoshida guy inside who...
Dun, dun, dun. He's not
dramatic
dead.
Plot twist. And with the help of Yoshida's granddaughter, who has a thing for Wolverine, he's able to regain and kill the guy with his bone claws. I feel bad that we're trying to figure out
now that word. I think about it, I know we're trying to figure out the right word for it, but Logan's a really big creep when it comes to any type of relationship.
This, yes.
Because of how old he is. Most of these, ugh.
Are you only as old as you look or feel?
It's like what they say about college girls. We keep getting older, but they always stay the same age.
It's kind of a quote pass off of McConaughey.
That's a Matthew McConaughey.
Yeah. He's like, I like high school girls. I keep getting older and they stay the same age.
Yeah.
What would...
So Wolverine stays the same age?
Kind of. He does get older.
Slowly.
I agree with
so one of the biggest things of this movie is that, I don't think this movie actually had any purpose in the future story, because at the end of this one, Wolverine is in a airport, which I don't know how he gets through a metal detector. Like, how is he allowed to fly?
Yeah.
So he's confronted by Magneto, and then come to find out also Professor X, which leads us into Days of the Future Past.
Days of Future Past, yeah.
Days of Future Past. The Days of Future Past movie.
So this movie took place after
X-Men
The Last
3.
Stand.
Yes.
Yep.
Didn't Professor X die in X-Men 3?
Yes.
Yeah.
So at the end of X-Men 3, there's like a comatose victim.
Who's his twin brother?
Well, that's the thing. Like, how it comes back to it being there's Professor X sitting there as opposed to this comatose victim who just has Professor X's consciousness.
We never know.
It's complicated, and then I don't think they ever explain it.
No. But much like comic books, the X-Men film universe is fucked. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, if you've read from the beginning to the end, none of it makes sense because there are big, huge loopholes that you have to jump through. At the end of X-Men 3, I should have mentioned it. Someone wakes up in a hospital room who's apparently a comatose patient with Patrick Stewart's voice and consciousness in his body. Like, he transferred consciousness to somebody before he died.
But then he has his body back in this movie.
Yes, and the end of the Wolverine, he's back in his old body.
But didn't his body disintegrate?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Like a Mega Man boss at the end of a Mega Man level.
Watching this Legion show, they kind of delve into stuff kind of like that. There was this body swapping power that one of these people had, and so knowing that that's his son, I don't know if there's some play that they don't ever talk about.
Could be.
But I mean, this is entirely fictitious, so you can do pretty much whatever you want.
Comic books, man.
Yeah.
Comic.
The great thing about this is that you don't have to have a reason or an explanation. You can just do it.
And speaking of Matthew McConaughey, do you know what it would sound like if he was a bailiff in a courtroom?
All rise, all rise, all rise.
Yes, he still remembers the joke. Good joke time.
So just quickly explain to me why we're skipping X-Men First Class.
Because he's not in it.
Okay.
He is in it.
For like 2 seconds,
Charles and
Magneto. Eric Letcher, that's right.
Magneto and Professor X are trying to recruit people for their school. They find Logan in a bar. Hugh Jackman, normal Wolverine age, because it's the 60s. 60s.
Is it 60s?
Yeah.
That's right, because this was the First Class. Yep.
Yeah.
I was thinking the days. Yeah.
So it's during the Cold War. Anyways, that doesn't matter.
So this movie is going back even before like the first X-Men movie.
Yes, the First Class of X-Men.
Okay.
They try to recruit him in a bar, and he says "fuck off," and they leave. It's like
they don't even try to sit down and talk to him. They're just like, "Hey, we've got it." He's just like, "Fuck off," and they're like,
it's almost like it's almost like a Stan Lee cameo. Yes, they walk into a bar.
Exactly.
He says "fuck off." They turn around and leave.
Is that the one where it was the first F word and it's still got a PG-13 rating? Or
no?
What am I thinking of?
There was another movie that has an F-bomb. I don't think that was it though. Because
maybe we talked about. Did we talk about a TV show that used the F word and still was able to get a P or like a? I don't know.
Back then, that would have been something. Nowadays, it seems.
I feel like on one of our recent episodes, we talked about a movie or a show that
maybe
they snuck in a swear word or something, and it was still.
I don't know. Let's get it back on the tracks, though.
Yeah.
Interesting thing about X-Men First Class takes place in the 60s. Because, the next one, they go back to the 70s.
Yeah. That's right.
Anyways, in the 60s, they meet Taggart, CIA agent.
Oh, yes.
Played by Rose Byrne.
No.
Moira McTaggart.
Moira, yes, yeah. It is Moira.
She doesn't age from the 60s through X-Men Apocalypse. She looks the same. She's got some type of healing going on. Also, Havoc is in it. Havoc in the comic books is Cyclops' older brother, but that would not work because Cyclops is like a teenager in the 80s.
Does it ever say how much older he is than Cyclops?
No, but he would be like 20, 30 years older.
That's a little too much, yeah.
And it was the first yellow suits.
Yes, that's right. So the original X-Men had like these cheesy blue,
bright yellow
suits, yeah.
Spandex.
Yeah.
Good stuff. So, Days of Future Past, we start in the future, a dark, dark future, kind of like Terminator 2. They decide to send Wolverine back to stop an event from occurring because he's an indestructible robot killing machine.
Trying to stop.
So we've now mastered time travel in the X-Men universe.
Yes, Kitty Pryde apparently ends up figuring that one out. Well, through a help with Xavier, because like she can send their mind back, but he keeps their mind coherent or something. So it's kind of a combination.
It's kind of like a Matrix thing.
It was a the power combo. Matrix. And it's a Marvel Ultimate Alliance power combo.
So they assume Wolverine can go all the way back in time because his body heals. So his consciousness might be able to heal.
Okay.
Because mutants are on the run.
So what they're trying to stop is Mystique goes back and kills this Dr. Trask. Yep. And he played by Peter Dinklage.
Little Tyrion.
Yeah. So in doing so, his design for this Sentinel gets picked up, and they basically shows how dangerous mutants can be, which if that was their first indication that mutants are dangerous, they're probably just not paying attention.
Yeah. Because the 70s.
Yes, because, they've known about mutants for a little while now. So they're going back to try to stop that, to stop the acceleration of this Sentinel program. And these Sentinels, basically, once they get a hold of Mystique's DNA, they become pretty much all powerful.
Which is weird.
Yeah, you would think that it would be more like Rogue's DNA or something that... Yeah, but...
Because, again, they want to use a mutant's DNA to make something happen.
Yes.
So Mystique's appearance-changing ability grants these Sentinels a way to become
I think it's
impervious to another mutant's power. So, like, if there was a Iceman, the Sentinel could turn into a fire and, like, melt them. And, all of the X-Men at the start of the movie die.
Yeah.
Like, everybody's dead except for Kitty Pryde, Wolverine, Professor X, and Magneto. Storm dies, Iceman dies, Colossus dies,
Bishop,
Sunfire or Sunspot.
Yeah, there was a couple other ones too.
Really weird, random, bottom of the barrel mutants are all dying at the
cannon fodder
intro of this movie. Wolverine goes back, doesn't immediately remember why he got sent back, because his mind from the 70s is like collides with his mind from the future.
Okay.
So he's trying to remember like why.
Does he wake up in some lady's bed?
Yeah, and he's naked.
Yeah.
And these goons come in and they're like, we're going to mess you up. And Logan's like, oh, okay, I know what to do. And he pulls his claws out and they're bone. Because he hasn't had adamantium.
This was before his time with Stryker.
So, and his memory hasn't always fully come back. So I don't know if he even remembered having bone claws in that moment.
Okay. That's true. I didn't even think of it that way. That's funny.
So then we have Wolverine trying to convince a young Charles Xavier, played by James McAvoy, which is where the Deadpool, James McAvoy, Patrick Stewart joke comes in, because there are two versions of Professor X.
Yeah, I haven't seen Deadpool.
I know, but
I don't even know who James McAvoy is.
He's in the X-Men movies. He's in Atonement.
I've heard his name, so I'm sure I'll know him when I see him.
Oh, this new Split.
Oh, you saw Wanted, right?
Oh, yeah.
That sounds like a movie you would see.
Yes, I saw that one.
He's in that Split movie, isn't he? The M. Night Shyamalan?
Yeah.
Okay, yes, I know who he is.
So he plays young Patrick Stewart.
Okay.
Yeah, young Patrick Stewart.
Young Professor X.
Did he shave his head?
X. He does in Apocalypse.
Yeah, so like they actually make a joke about it when they try to hook him up to Cerebro. They're like, hey, this would work a whole lot better if you shaved your head. And he's like, you're not touching my hair. Like, so seems very protective of it at first.
And it's weird because they make
him seem more like a playboy. Like,
he's very edgy.
Yeah.
And like a heroin addict. He takes a drug that Beast is also in First Class and Days of Future Past. He's a character introduced in X-Men 3, which you didn't see.
I didn't see that.
He's a classic X-Men hero. He's a blue
played
beast.
By Kelsey Grammer
in X-Men 3.
So at the end of First Class, I think it actually might be Moira that shoots the shot that paralyzes Professor X or paralyzes him. So he gets shot.
Yeah. Magneto tries to bend the bullet away from him so he doesn't get shot and ends up shooting Professor X in the spine.
Okay.
So he paralyzes his best friend.
So this drug that he's taking,
not what you want to do.
Feels bad, man.
Exactly. I don't know if he feels all that bad about it. I think Magneto's got this way of just being like, whatever.
You're in the way.
Yep. So
he's in the moment though. He did feel bad.
That's true. Yeah.
So he's taking a drug that represses the pressure on his spine so he can walk, but it also represses his mutant powers. So
that's troubling.
The loud radio in his head gets turned down, which is great for him, but makes him kind of a tosspot. He's kind of a jerk.
He is a bit. Yep.
And they go and seek the help of Magneto, who's in prison because he's basically assassinated JFK.
Yeah, they pin the JFK killing on him.
Well, no, they don't pin it on him. They pin it on Lee Harvey Oswald, but it's a government cover-up.
Oh, okay, that's right.
The magic bullet was pushed around by Magneto that day.
Really?
Yeah, kind of a cool side story that they don't really delve into.
And it's even funnier later because they talk about it and he's like, I wasn't trying to kill him, I was trying to save him because apparently JFK was a mutant. So he was like saying something about how if there was a mutant in that with that much power, like not like powers but like political power, that the normal people would really freak out, and obviously they did.
Yeah. So they put him in prison. They recruit the most powerful mutant in the Fox X-Men, the Fox Marvel universe.
The only guy that can transfer over.
Yeah.
I think he was the only one that's been in both of them, hasn't he?
Yeah, well, Scarlet Witch makes an appearance in close to the end when he's watching TV at home.
Oh.
She's a little girl in a pink dress.
Oh.
That's Scarlet Witch.
I don't remember that.
So Magneto's their dad. Both versions of Quicksilver. Quicksilver was in Age of Ultron.
Really?
Yeah. But they can't say that in the Marvel Universe movies because Fox owns the rights to Magneto. His powers in this are way overpowered.
Oh, yeah.
He can run so fast that time stops.
Yeah.
That's not how fast he is in Age of Ultron. It's somewhere in the middle, I would say, for how fast he can run. So he has a really sweet scene where he runs in, grabs the back of Magneto's head, and he's like, what are you doing? I don't want you to get whiplash. And he's like, what? He goes, whiplash. And then they're out to the other side of this huge corridor in just like a second. And then they get surrounded by guards in a circular room, and he goes around the room.
It's like a kitchen, yeah.
You know, two guys are aiming their guns straight at.
Oh, and I bet they shoot each other? Oh.
Yeah, so he bends them like this. He flips a guy's hat off. Since time is still, he can like lift people up because they're really light, I guess, because all of their molecules aren't bouncing
And this
around.
is all to the Jim Croce's Time in a Bottle song, which is like the perfect song for the scene. He's got like a pair of headphones, yeah, so it's actually what he's listening to.
But that would be slowed down.
Yeah, that's what I was...
That was the one problem.
That's true.
You shouldn't be hearing it at normal speed. Because in like 1 second, he saves their lives. And then they say, bye, we're going to do the rest of the movie without you.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, you're super good, man. You did a really good job. Yeah, we can handle it.
Because didn't you make a comment that he's the one guy who could like solve all the problems in the X-Men universe?
Because Mystique won't back down from killing Bolivar Trask because he's behind a bunch of, bad stuff. Little Tyrion.
A lot of mutants being kidnapped or disappearing. Yeah.
And basically we have a similar ending to many X-Men films. And
so after they get Magneto, they basically go to find Mystique, and she's disguising herself as a North Vietnamese general to get into this meeting with Trask where she plans to kill him. And I think that's where she originally kills him, and that starts the whole Days of Future Past problem. So they go there to stop her, and it's Wolverine, Professor X, Magneto, and Beast. And they end up having a bit of a scuffle over what they should do, because Magneto just decides that it's better just to kill Mystique so that they don't get her DNA to make these machines stronger.
Okay.
And Charles doesn't want to do that.
Yeah, well, neither does Beast, and I'm pretty sure Wolverine wouldn't either. He seemed kind of indifferent to it, but so they basically start fighting amongst each other, and it pretty much allows Mystique to escape. And I think at this point in time, Magneto breaks off from the pack.
Yeah. Goes and does his own thing like Magneto usually does.
Yep. So now Trask goes to Nixon and says, hey, look at these mutants. Look at how powerful they are. We need to step up this Sentinel program. During the unveiling for it, or prior to the unveiling of the Sentinel program, Magneto basically hacks into one of these things with his own metal, because they're made out of polymer so that he can't mess with them.
Okay.
But he infuses metal into them so that he can control them. Yeah, I guess that goes into all their circuits and stuff too, and programming. So I don't know how that all worked, but
yeah, he lifted up a stadium.
Yes, he picks up
the stadium in DC.
It's actually the Robert F. Kennedy Memorial Stadium, and drops it around the White House to pretty much create like a barrier, like a big wall, so that he's got privacy. And then he's going to use these Sentinels to kill like the president and like a bunch of cabinet, like high-ranking people.
Okay.
And it's actually Mystique who is dressed up as one of these generals again.
Why don't they see that coming at this point?
Yeah, exactly. Well, that's the thing. Like during the lead up to this, they're down in this bunker, and Trask is determining that she's there. So I think they've determined that somebody in the room is a mutant or a Mystique. I think they know specifically it's her.
They go to like a panic room, and Magneto pulls it out of the ground.
Exactly. Like he just rips the thing right up out of the ground.
Pretty sweet.
There's the horrible, terrifying thing where Magneto skewers Wolverine with a bunch of rebarb and then throws him into the Potomac, and which I don't know, it doesn't really say how long he stays down there before.
Well, he does get fished out
by Mystique dressed as somebody else. Yeah. I don't think I had that part down. So yeah,
Wolverine in this movie does well.
Yes.
It's not his best movie.
So basically it ends with Wolverine waking up, because I don't know, they fish him out, but I don't remember if it's his consciousness there at the time.
They don't.
Or if the events have already just changed so that he's now just...
So he goes back to normal speed. He never goes back to the future. To the future that he came from. But one morning he wakes up and his consciousness that went back in time like clicks on one morning when he wakes up, and he has the memories of aging past that time. And so like,
so he wakes up in the school for the gifted, and there's Jean Grey and Professor X and Cyclops and
Storm.
Yes,
Rogue's there.
Storm was there. Yeah,
Rogue and Iceman.
Basically, everybody was back.
We're basically back to like X-Men 2.
Yeah,
exactly. So that's where it comes into play, where these other movies they were good little side stories, I guess. But yeah, they didn't want to have to deal with the continuity errors between those, so they're like, all right, we're gonna go back and just fix all that.
But do they fix it? Because I'm more confused than ever right now after...
I don't think I explained it very well.
No, it's difficult to explain because it's a difficult to understand timeline.
Yeah.
Basically, Days of Future Past said the events of X-Men 3, where all of your favorite characters, quote unquote, favorite characters died, didn't happen. Neither did X-Men Origins, Wolverine.
Or the Wolverine.
Yep. And everything's going to be fine and dandy from here on out. But we haven't gone back to those characters because they're all old now.
Yeah. Because it was back in present day. So he goes and talks to Professor X and basically has to get filled in on everything that's happened from 1973 to the present day because he doesn't know. It's a weird one.
Well,
yeah.
So where is Logan going to fall in?
It only takes place 6 years after Days of Future Past ends.
Really?
Yeah. So he has aged a lot.
So you're saying I should probably see Days of Future Past.
I mean, you don't have to.
Because basically everything that happened in Days of Future Past doesn't matter either, only because it has already changed everything. But in terms of like knowing where the story has gone, I mean, it's a good one to watch. I thought Days of Future Past was pretty good. It helped bridge between like the McAvoy and the Stewart.
Yeah, so it takes place in 2024.
Is when Days of Future Past starts?
When Logan takes place. We don't really know when X-Men 3 ends, because it basically takes place after X-Men 3 is when he wakes up.
Of when, like, right before Scott dies?
Yeah, so Days of Future Past. So it also would have wiped out much of X-Men 2 then, because the Phoenix, we don't know if the Phoenix came.
Yeah. They could still throw that out there.
Yeah, so that could also mess up continuity. So let's just assume, let's see, X-Men 3 came out in what, 2008?
Maybe.
Well, if Origins came out in 2009, you were saying, were they that close together? Were they back to back?
X-Men 3 came out in 2006. So anyways, between 2006 and 2024.
So there's 18 years difference, we're thinking?
Yeah, maybe. That makes sense.
So why did they make Logan so gray in this movie coming out? If it's only that short amount, that doesn't really...
I think it plays into the fact that his powers are starting to fade, because he is at that point, 170 some years old.
Yeah.
So he's got some age behind him. So, I mean, stop using that just for men. You're going to turn gray pretty quick.
Yeah. So that was basically the rest of the X-Men Wolverine.
I'm now prepared for Logan.
Yeah.
Hastily done and horribly presented.
We will cover Logan next week on our next episode. Special thanks to Eli Show for the album artwork, as always. If you'd like to get in contact with the show, you can find us on Facebook at facebook.com/WeSoundLikeNerds. On Twitter, using the hashtag WeSoundLikeNerds. We are at WSLN Podcast. We're also now on YouTube. Go to YouTube, type in the search bar, We Sound Like Nerds. You can find our channel. You can listen to all of our episodes there if that's easier for you than downloading them from iTunes. We do have one piece of fan mail. Someone that Kyle works with, Grace. She said that she genuinely loves listening to the show. So thanks for listening, Grace.
Thanks, Grace.
She actually stayed awake for the whole thing.
Yeah, unlike someone else.
Yes, another of my co-workers listened to it, and it put him to sleep. So if anybody likes to use us as a sleeping aid, we are much better than Ambien.
Are we?
I hope so. We're less addictive.
We're more velvet. For We Sound Like Nerds, I'm John.
This is Kyle.
And I'm Jordan.
And the immortal words of Bill Paxton, game over, man. Game over.